Yankees Files podcast, we are back in our original form, which is not to say with Whipple, but is to say without Steve. I'm Will Harris, you're Mitch Harris, and the rest of you are fans of the team that last I checked was projected to be the best in the American League by PECOTA and then pretty much all of the Fangraphs projections systems. We have a lot to get into on this very special Dad Take or Bad Take episode of the Yankees Files podcast. But first, Dad, as the co-host today, it is customary that I ask you, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Will, and happy to be here. And as also is customary, if permitted, I would like to make an opening statement with great enthusiasm.
I would expect nothing less.
May I proceed?
Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, hello to the fans, watchers, and listeners of the Yankees Files podcast. Great to be here. Second, I am so pumped, and I want to commend the Yankees. They've gone out. They've built a team. They've spent money. They have the highest payroll in Major League Baseball this year. Highest payroll, so they're spending more than any other team. And I just want to say nice going, because you're proving to your fans that you're trying to win by going out and getting the players and spending the money. So highest payroll, Yankees. What?
That's how this is going to go.
Hey, in part.
Okay, so you know what? I think.
What are you?
No,
am I wrong?
I think we're off to a great start.
Are you saying I'm wrong?
I am.
Oh, okay. Wait, they don't have the highest payroll?
They don't have the highest.
All right,
payroll.
second highest payroll. Nicely done. You came in. Your Dodgers spend like drunken sailors, $400 million. Yankees second highest payroll. Nicely done, Yankees. Way to go. What? Why are you making that? Wait, why are you making that face?
They don't have the second highest
They don't
payroll either.
Oh my God. All right. Third highest payroll. Nicely done, Yanks. Third highest.
I'm pretty sure that's true.
It's not true.
Who?
I think it's the Yankees. My research has them, I think, fifth, including behind the.
Where did you find that?
I think PECOTA.
PECOTA doesn't report on that.
Okay. Use my phone.
You use your phone?
Yes.
Are you sure you didn't just believe AI?
Well, one of the other things I'm here to say is you should believe AI.
Okay.
Hang on
so the Yankees have the third highest payroll.
All right. Payroll breakdown. This is Fangraphs.
Yep. So I'm looking at roster resource on Fangraphs.
Hang on a second. And I couldn't see that. It was too small.
Okay. Well, I just made it really big.
So hang on a second.
I'm showing it to you.
Hang on.
The people can see.
Hang on
I'm showing it to
and
you.
I'm looking at something else.
What are you looking at?
Something else.
Which is
Athlon Sports.
Okay.
So if people just bear with us.
The Yankees have the third highest payroll.
Yeah.
And the third highest luxury tax payroll.
Yep. So they do have the third highest. The Phillies are almost the same, but
the Phillies are fifth.
I have the Phillies at fourth.
Okay, that's wrong.
Who's fifth? I mean, who's fourth then?
Toronto.
At what?
Like 289.
Okay. Yeah. So they don't have the highest. They don't have the second highest, but they do have the third highest.
And the highest in the American League, I would know.
And they have been outspent. I'm going to do a little quick math here. By $60 million. The LA Dodgers have outspent them by $60 million.
Okay, so here's a question that I have for you.
Yep.
You make your opening statement, it's about payroll.
Yes.
Who are all the fancy high-paid players who change teams this offseason that the Yankees should have gotten and didn't?
So they had a fella named Juan Soto.
Did not change teams this offseason.
Well, and they let him go.
They offered him $765 million.
They had a fellow named Juan Soto, and I would excuse their not going out and getting fancy high paid players if they had paid Juan Soto a whole bunch of money. But they didn't do that, and they really have. And this is going to come out, so we might as well just air it here. They really have a team that looks very, 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 very similar to the team that did not win the AL East last year.
Well, this is kind of like a balance sheet versus income statement thing, because the team that did not win the AL East last year gave a lot of playing time to Pablo Reyes and Oswald Peraza and Carlos Carrasco and Marcus Stroman. And how many combined games do you project those guys to play for the 2026 New York Yankees?
So they were in a position where they had to play bad guys. And one of the things that we like to do is go through the roster.
Wait, you never answered the question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That I asked.
What was the question?
Who are all the fancy high-paid players that the Yankees should have gotten onto their payroll this offseason? Who changed teams and you went, the Yankees should have gotten that guy?
Oh, okay. I can't tell you precisely who they could have gotten.
That's interesting.
But I can tell you that the Dodgers went, and I'm not talking about necessarily fancy high-paid people, but I'm talking about having people who can shore you up so you don't have to play a Oswald Peraza or any of the people, Marcus Stroman. I feel like what the Dodgers did was the Dodgers didn't go out and get like a Juan Soto, but what they did do is they spent a lot of money on people who can shore up their lineup.
Name one.
We know they did. We talked about it.
What do you mean?
You're like, you even talked about it with, I think me, but you certainly have talked about it with Steve, where it's like, should you pay $5 million?
Yes, we talked about that with Kirby Yates, who ended up being a non-factor on the Dodgers. But the Dodgers did pay not an insignificant amount of money to Michael Conforto, who was terrible. The Dodgers did end up playing Enrique Hernandez and Miguel Rojas all the freaking time. Both of those guys are bad. Like, there's this notion that the Dodgers insulated themselves from ever having to play bad players. The Dodgers were a miraculous catch away from losing the World Series to Ernie Clement. Like, this is the Dodgers won fewer games than the Yankees, had a worse run differential, had a worse offense. Like, are we just going to get back to this thing where you tell me the playoffs are the only thing that matter and that we can derive a lot of information from the results? Because if that's what this is going to be.
No, because we don't want to do that, especially for the fans and listeners of the Yankees Files podcast. I think what we want to do is we want to turn the page. It's a new year.
Mm-hmm.
We are fans, all of us watching and listening, are fans of the teams with the third highest payroll. They went out and they shot for third, and by God, they got it. So let's take a look at the lineup.
Let's do it.
Let's take a look at the lineup, and we'll talk about some specific players.
Sure.
But
so at catcher, you have the composite of Austin Wells, Ben Rice, and J.C. Escarra.
So Austin Wells, playing for the Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic.
Homered today. You have J.C. Escarra, who we saw last night. That's right.
A little spoiler, Will and his mom and I went to the Yankees Nationals spring training game.
I don't know if it can be a spoiler if the thing already happened.
Oh, that's a great point. At
Cacti Park of the Palm Beaches or
Cacti
something.
Park of the Palm Beaches, which is quite a nice ballpark
Yeah.
if you ever have a chance to get over there.
Didn't see a single cactus though.
Yes, we did not.
So that was interesting.
But a good physical plant, the spring training home of the Washington Nationals and the Houston Astros.
The cheating Houston Astros.
Yes. So we did go there, and we saw, among other people, J.C. Escara, who I think did not produce any offense. Did he have any?
Very
offense?
few people produced any offense.
Yes,
for
the Yankees scored
last night.
0 runs.
He did have at least one caught stealing.
Okay.
So that happened.
Okay.
Something a catcher has to do sometimes.
Who was the third person? I forgot.
Ben Rice?
Ben Rice. Yes. Ben Rice, who people have predicted will be a breakout player.
Well, I would object because
he's already been a breakout
player.
Ben
Rice broke out last year. He was awesome. He was a top 25 offensive player in the sport.
Yep.
He could be even better. He could be like really, really good. But he had like a 170 WRC plus in the second half. If that's not arriving, I don't know what it is.
Okay. Well, we need Ben Rice. Okay. So you know what? I'm gonna say, as long as they play Ben Rice.
Well, he's gonna catch a little bit and he's gonna play first base a lot.
As long as they play him, I'll say that lineup spot is acceptable. But it can't be. We're not doing this thing where we say, okay, well, that lineup spot is either Ben Rice or Austin Wells or J.C.
It's
Escara.
The composite of those guys.
What I'm saying is we're going 1 to 9. Who's the guy you're picking?
Well, the player who will get the most plate appearances at catcher is Austin Wells.
Yeah. So it's not Ben Rice. You're going to say Ben Rice is the first base.
I didn't say I didn't say Ben Rice is the catcher. I said Ben Rice is one of the people who will catch, and the catcher lineup spot is a composite of 3 people.
Yeah, so we're just going down the line.
Okay, Austin Wells.
Okay. And I think Austin Wells is okay. I don't have his WRC plus. Do you have that from last year?
It was probably about 90 last year. Yeah. But it was better in 2024. He took a serious offensive step back last year, and one that I have noted I'm very concerned about. But he is still no worse than an average offensive catcher. And he's a phenomenal defensive catcher.
I know you said catcher.
Yeah, because that's the position he plays.
No, but you said he's a no worse than average offensive catcher.
Yeah.
As opposed to no worse than average offensive player.
He could be a slightly worse than average offensive player. He had a 94 WRC plus last year.
Yeah. So, I don't like rolling out guys that are below average, but okay.
Well, he's not below average. Again, he's an average offensive. He's an average offensive player for his career, and he's above average for his position. If you want to go find a first baseman and put him behind the plate, you'll probably have an above average offensive player. You'll have a terrible catcher.
You're saying Ben Rice is a terrible catcher?
No, I'm saying Ben Rice is unique.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next player.
First base, the composite of Ben Rice and Paul Goldschmidt.
Right. And last year, what was Goldschmidt's WRC plus?
It was pretty good. It was
because he kind of disappeared.
So he faded down the stretch. It was 103, but he had only Aaron Judge had a higher xWOBA against left-handed pitching, which is the place where Paul Goldschmidt will be deployed this year almost exclusively.
All right, let's keep going.
Okay, so you're happy with first base?
I'm okay with it.
What could they do better? Ben Rice is going to have like a 125 WRC plus.
That's why I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the 125 WRC plus. I think they should be fielding players who have an above average WRC plus. And they're doing that in this case. So
second base, Jazz Chisholm.
And now his WRC plus was surprisingly high last year.
It was in the 120s also.
Yeah. So
He's been like a 6 WAR per 162
Yeah.
game player since joining the Yankees.
And I don't think I've ever seen him get it, but
Which is crazy. He
Yes.
went 30-30 last year.
yeah, I understand. He just doesn't play well when I'm watching.
Okay.
Okay.
At shortstop, the composite of Anthony Volpe and Jose Caballero.
Yeah. So we talked about this. I am a noted Volpe hater.
Yep.
I said at the beginning of last season, Volpe was on the brink.
I think
for
you said
me.
the wolf is
I
the
did.
door.
I did say that, and
Yeah.
you
Pointed out that it's really Fox.
Yeah, but it was a canine type animal.
Like if he was like Anthony Lupin.
Yes,
Yeah.
Then that would have been better.
You
Yes, but
or if his name was like Wolfgang Volpe.
that would work perfectly.
And he was in Van Halen.
If he was Van Halen. So what I would say is I've been a detractor of Volpe's. I'm not saying as a person he seems like a perfectly nice kid, but he hasn't produced offensively, and we'll get to his injury. He hasn't produced offensively, and last year he didn't produce defensively.
Okay.
And that really makes me mad because people said, oh, he's in there for his glove. And so what if he doesn't produce offensively? And then when his glove doesn't work and he doesn't produce offensively, then he is just a double liability. And in this case, 2 negatives don't make a positive.
Good job. Hey, when do that?
In maths.
So what are your expectations for Anthony Volpe this year?
So I wanted to talk about this because my expectations are low. I don't like it. I think they should replace him. I would like them to have a better shortstop. But if the reason he was terrible last year, and he was terrible last year, is because he was hurt, and now he's going to be better. I know he's not quite better just yet. And now he's going to be better. Then what are we supposed to take from that? Which Anthony Volpe is showing up in 2026?
So this is exactly the point that I've made a few times, which is you should have an estimate of a player's true talent level.
Right.
What do you estimate Anthony Volpe's true talent level to be?
Well, I don't think it's very good. And what I'm hoping you'll tell me is, no, well, you know what? Before he got hurt.
Is it 2 WAR? Is it 1.5 WAR? Is it 0.9 WAR?
Well, I don't love, well, I'll say a couple of things.
First of all, you're a pacifist.
Yes, so I don't love it. No, what I'll say is this. We're, I think, hoping that he's just going to be kind of an average player.
What do you mean?
Just what I said.
But an average, when I talked about Austin Wells being above average in certain contexts, you said, no, we're just talking about offense. Are we talking about offense or are we talking
No,
about
I'm talking about the total product.
Okay. I think we're hoping Anthony Volpe can be 2024 Anthony Volpe or better, which would be a well above average player.
Okay, so that's what you're telling me I should hope and expect will show up?
That's what I'm telling you should hope
so
should
what
show
was
up.
So in 2024, how many WAR did he produce? 2?
No, he had like 3.5 baseball reference WAR in 2024.
Okay, and what was his WRC plus?
Like 87 or something.
Just hate that.
Okay, so this is
I know, and this is offense versus defense. You told me he's a 3.5 WAR player. So he made his WAR by playing defense, not by producing on offense.
correct.
And I totally understand that, but I just hate an 87 WRC plus offensive player. Hate it.
Do you have any thoughts on Jose Caballero?
Joey the horse?
Joey the cowboy?
I guess that's the horseman.
The horseman, yeah.
Joey the horseman.
The gentleman, Damas y Caballeros.
I don't know enough about him. He wasn't there last night, was he?
No, he's playing in the World Baseball Classic. I forget what team
Right, probably
he's
for
representing.
Poland or something.
Yep, it's Poland, I think.
No, but I mean, you have
Yeah.
Austin Wells playing for the Dominican
Exactly. No,
Republic.
you never know. He could be playing for Chinese Taipei.
Right, exactly.
I always think it's interesting how international baseball competitions do or do not apply the one China policy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a good point.
Yep, makes you think.
So so I don't know enough about. So Caballero hasn't gotten a ton of playing time.
No, he showed up at the trade deadline last year. He led Major League Baseball, or at least the American League, in stolen bases. I would contend that a lot of his value comes from his ability to play a lot of positions competently. He grades out as like a very skilled outfielder, which the Yankees may not need, but it's nice that he can do it. He could play any of second, short, and third. He hits left-handed pitching decently well. He is said to have made some hit ball hard strides over the course of the offseason. He showed plate discipline last year that we had not previously seen from him. So, as there are with Anthony Volpe, who did a lot of good hit ball hard stuff last year, there are encouraging offensive signs, but Jose Caballero over the course of his career has effectively been an Anthony Volpe level offensive player.
Which I don't love. Who was the kid we saw number?
George Lombard Jr.?
No, the other one. Number 78, was he?
Oh, Spencer Jones?
Spencer Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to put a marker down on that and talk about what he might get a look for.
Sure. Third base, the composite of Ryan McMahon and Ahmed Rosario.
Yeah. So look, I read something that said that the Yankees may be making progress with Ryan McMahon offensively. And
I think we have a lot of reasons to believe that Ryan McMahon could be very good.
Yeah, and if that's true, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I know he's a great defensive player, but again, we're going around and we're like, okay, shortstop below average. If third base is going to be below average, if catcher is going to be below average,
whatever.
All of a sudden,
it kind of makes you wonder, how is it possible that this team had by far the best offense in Major League Baseball last year?
Well, I can tell you one of the reasons it did.
Is it that they had the most players with a 110 WRC plus or higher in Major League Baseball?
Well, one of the reasons also is that, like, this team, and we'll get into this, and we shouldn't.
Do you want to do the outfield?
Yeah, but just let me say, we shouldn't derail this, but this team has been living and dying with Aaron Judge, and God bless Aaron Judge. Nobody can or should say a bad thing about the guy, but you cannot ride one guy that hard
if you took
forever.
The best offensive player off of every major league team, the remaining Yankees had the highest WRC plus of the remaining guys on any team.
Yeah, but
so they are the least reliant on their best player.
Well, as Judge goes, so goes the Yankees. We've seen it a million times.
And
a million times.
Find me the team of whom that is not true.
Well, they're all the teams that Judge doesn't play for. Anyway, keep going. Outfield.
So the outfield you'll have, or outfield plus DH, you'll have Judge, Bellinger, Grisham, and Stanton are probably going to get the most.
And look, I am worried about Stanton. Apparently, Stanton claims he cannot even grip, he can't.
He says he can't open a bag of chips.
Yeah.
So after that report came out, a number of reports came out clarifying that Giancarlo Stanton feels exactly the same way that he felt last year when he had his best season since 2021. It's just the guy is in pain. His elbow's hurt. We've known that since before the 2025 season started. They still hurt the same amount, and he just posted a 159 or 158 WRC plus.
Well, I'll tell you this much. The last Yankee to say he couldn't open a bag of chips was Lou Gehrig.
Oh, God.
And that didn't end well.
I don't know how they were packaging chips at the time, though.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Like, they might have been, like, encasing them in lead.
Exactly.
So it was really hard.
Yeah. Rip, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Do you want to talk a little about the pitching staff?
Sure.
Which had its, let's be honest, fans, had its struggles last year.
Yep.
At certain points in the year, boy, did they have their struggles. And I'll quote Steve, who will never hear me say this because he doesn't listen to the dad takes or bad takes.
Dad's take
or bad take episodes. Which, look, if you're one of the main hosts of a show and you believe in continuity, or you believe continuity is important, you might listen to the episodes,
be able to comment on
it. You might do that, but look, Steve is his own man and God bless him. But as Steve said last year, we're gonna maybe look back and see some of these really embarrassing losses made a difference. And he was absolutely right. Those embarrassing losses were the difference between winning the AL East and losing it.
Well, any win or loss was the difference.
Of course, but they gave away games. They played horrendously poorly in games. And, that's just not acceptable.
And yet, if it had been 1968, they would have been in a one-game playoff to see if they go to the World Series.
So, good point. Good point. If somebody had invented a time machine,
exactly,
we wouldn't be probably doing this right now.
That's true. It would be hard. So you want to talk about the pitching staff?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the pitching staff.
So it's going to be in a state of flux for a little while as guys get healthy.
Yeah.
But eventually,
yes,
I think they'd like the rotation to include one Garrett Cole.
Yes.
One Max Fried.
Yes.
One Carlos Rodon.
Yes.
One Ryan Weathers.
Don't really know him very well.
So he's the son of New York Yankees World Series champion David Weathers.
Huh.
They traded for him from the Marlins.
Okay.
And he's left-handed. He's nasty. Throws hard. Really good breaking balls. His issue has been that he struggles to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm. And just speaking of that, what is just for the fans here, what are we saying about Garrett Cole?
It's hard to know what to say about Garrett Cole. We've gotten some encouraging reports that he's been up to 97 already in his bullpens, and it sounds like his recoveries have been fine, which, those are two of the things that we'd be concerned about. But I think, really, both with a pitcher of his age and coming off the injury, it's hard to say. We've increasingly in recent years seen guys come back from Tommy John better than they ever were.
Yes. Yeah.
But, I think we'll kind of have to wait and see. I think with Garrett Cole's acumen for pitching and the stuff that still seems to be there, I think you can trust him to get guys out rather reliably. But I think he's probably the third or fourth most likely guy in the rotation to contend for a Cy Young.
You think he's the third or fourth in this rotation to contend for a Cy Young?
Yeah.
So you think there are at least...
I think you could I think certainly Max Fried.
Sure.
And then I think you could pick Rodon and or Weathers.
Wow.
I mean, Rodon's coming off a 200-inning, 200-plus strikeout season in which he had, a low 3s ERA. Max Fried has an incredible knack for getting pitcher wins, for anyone who still cares about those, and pitched a lot of innings last year. I think Weathers if he stays healthy, could do some really
All right.
impressive things, especially neutralizing left-handed batters at Yankee Stadium.
Let's talk about the bullpen a bit because we know they don't have Clayton Walter Holmes,
They
who
don't. Is the modern Rivera.
is the modern Rivera, according to Will, not according to Will's dad. We saw him pitch in the World Baseball Classic last night. We took in a lot of baseball. We consumed a lot of baseball content yesterday.
So presumptive Yankees closer David Bednar also pitched in the World Baseball Classic last night for the United States. He's good. He was good last year. Fernando Cruz is back. He had either the highest or top 3 highest rate of inducing swinging strikes last year among any relief pitcher. Splitter's pretty nasty. He got some big outs against the Red Sox in that playoff series. Are you just waiting for me to say Jake Bird?
No, I thought you were going to say like Will Warren, who we saw pitch.
No, Will
night.
Warren, I think, is a starter.
I think you didn't mention him before.
Yeah, because that last spot in the rotation could go a number of different ways. I think Will Warren will ultimately lock it down. I don't know if they'll try out Luis Gil in the bullpen. I think that's possible, but I'm down on Luis Gil. There's Carlos Lagrange, who they're currently building up as a starter, who projects to be in the minors, but could be an electric, 1 inning or multi-inning reliever. Tim Hill is back as the lefty specialist. Tim Hill's terrific. Don't do that. What are you doing?
Tim Hill's okay.
Tim Hill's great. Tim Hill, I think, had the most scoreless relief appearances on the team last year. Let's see. Who else is back there? You got Cade Winquist, who they picked in the Rule 5 draft and seem to be optimistic about. You expect that he'll make the team because if he doesn't, you have to give him back. You have Camilo Doval, who they got from the Giants, who I think we can expect to be better this year, has been dominant in the major leagues in the past, but struggled a little bit last year. Ryan Yarbrough could be back there in long relief. Paul Blackburn could be back there in long relief.
So when we're talking about the relief pitchers, here's a question.
Yeah.
Why would the Yankees employ Jake Bird?
Because the Yankees expect that they can make Jake Bird nasty.
Okay. Well, he is nasty. He is a Yankee killer. So we saw Jake Bird pitch for all of maybe 20 pitches.
And have you ever heard of Jake Bird prior to this?
So I don't know, and here's why. Because I don't know if I am thinking of Greg Bird.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but I did witness the guy pitch, and and I think the listeners and watchers of the Yankees Files podcast know that I hate pitchers who don't throw strikes. I hate pitchers who don't throw strikes. And Jake Bird does not throw strikes. And it's ridiculous. And if he's in this bullpen, if he has any role in this bullpen, first of all, look out, because it's going to be a long season and not in a good way. And second of all, you have to question Brian Cashman's sanity if this guy's in the bullpen. That's how bad he is. He's awful.
I can't wait. I'm going to clip that portion of this
Mark
podcast.
It down.
And every time Jake Bird throws a scoreless appearance, I'm just going to send it to you.
Yeah, okay. Well, I won't be looking for a lot of those. Jake Bird is worse than Cody Epley. I'm saying it.
That statement, people who listen to this podcast will remember Cody Epley, but that statement means so much less to any of them than it does to you.
Yeah. Cody Epley was terrible, and Jake Bird is terrible. And I'm sorry, and I just don't – look, he might be a nice guy. He might have a family or a mom. or whatever.
He probably has a mom.
But he's terrible. He shouldn't be on this team. So if anyone's listening that has anything to do with whether Jake Bird's on the team, let's kind of make sure that he's not on the team. Thank you.
Would you like to answer some questions that were
I'd
sent
love
in just
to
for
answer
you,
some
for
questions.
the listeners and watchers?
From anyone. No, and look, I'll answer all of Waleed's questions, but are all the questions from Waleed?
No, Waleed didn't even send in a question. He said, just let him know he's still my based king.
Back at you, Waleed.
And then we'll start with Rob Sasso at Sasso CT.
Hey, Rob.
So I don't know if you know this, but former Yankees and Phillies outfielder Ricky Leday is active on Twitter.
No, I didn't know that.
And he is often tweeting about gazpacho.
Look, there's a time and place for gazpacho.
And he has such iconic tweets as, stop asking for the gazpacho recipe. I will not gove the recipe to anyone, not even children. Because presumably people were tweeting at Ricky Leday, Ricky, please, my son is dying and he wants your gazpacho recipe.
Funny.
So Rob asks, ask him if he would be interested in trying Ricky Leday's gazpacho.
Hell yeah. I do like a gazpacho, sometimes with a dollop of sour cream in it.
Sure,
it's
absolutely.
Good. Yeah.
From Ball Champion at Dan Heronstan, who sings the Four Non-Blondes outro.
Oh, I love that, by the way. I love that.
His question is, will he adopt me?
That's a dangerous question because I don't know. You would have to be then subjected to me as your father, which look at the way Will turned out, everyone.
From Bad Yankees Takes at Yank Plane 06, this young man, I believe, is a student at Providence College.
Friars.
First question. We have 4 questions from BYT.
Okay.
First, favorite niche Yankees moment growing up?
So I didn't know that question was coming, or I didn't remember if you told me. But I was just thinking about this today. And my favorite niche Yankees moment actually is the George Brett Pine Tar game.
Really?
I love that. Just seeing George Brett come flying out of the dugout when he knows he's wrong. He knows he's wrong, but just seeing him come flying out of the dugout and they just waited for the right moment. I just love that. I thought it was very clever.
That's awesome. Second question from BYT. What new analytics or stats have you embraced in this new era, and which ones do you think are bogus?
So everybody knows I love WRC Plus.
I sure do.
And that's probably my stat of record.
Stat of choice.
Or my go-to stat. I really like the way it kind of normalizes things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one. Number two, what stats are bogus? Like most stats that Will uses are bogus.
Name one.
Anything from Pacoda. Anything from Pacoda. Anything from like the last half of the season. It's like, do you know that since last Thursday, this guy has a 220 WRC plus in 4 plate appearances, and it's like,
if I do 4 plate appearances, it's a joke.
Yeah. Well, all I'm saying is I think that's what.
Okay. Third question: would you like to go on a golf trip to Scottsdale with me?
Hell yeah! Although Will tell you that my golf has been up and down.
Improving, though.
And by the way, he's welcome to come to the Palm Beaches and play golf here. I'd love to. So we don't have to make it. I guess what I'm saying is we don't have to make a huge commitment because you don't know that you would like me But we could just tee it up for 18 and it, you could sort of have a little test drive, as it were.
Last question from BYT.
All
This
right.
was sent in an additional tweet.
All right.
It says, I have another question for your dad. My last fake ID was taken, and I can't find a legit guy to get one. Before I attempt to make one myself, does your dad have a hookup?
I did, but somebody was just talking about this the other day, I think at work, but like there was a kid that I went to high school with who got these like adhesive letters and numbers,
Okay.
and he would put them on top of your regular license, but it was like you had stuff stuck
into the mic.
You had stuff stuck to the license. It was ridiculous, but it worked.
It worked?
It worked.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So, but no hookup, although I do recommend AI.
Generally.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. From Hudson Hawk, what is his greatest Yankees memory and his most heartbreaking Yankees memory?
Okay. So there are so many great Yankees memories that I have that it could fill an entire show. And there are just so many ones that I would be willing to talk about for days. The greatest one for me ever still is Reggie Jackson's 3 home runs on 3 pitches. I mean, you're watching and he hits a home run and it's great. I'm like, Reggie, you hit a home run. He comes up again and hits another home run on the next pitch. It's not like he, went to 3-2. It's the next pitch he sees. Obviously not in the same bat because he hit a home run.
Because that's how it works.
And then the next time he gets up, he hits another home run on the first pitch he sees. Forget it. I would do a mic drop, except I don't want to damage Will's mic. That to me, and you got to remember, I was probably 12 or 13 years old, huge Yankee fan. The moment, the situation that it's in, like if he hit 3 home runs, like against, the Mariners on a Thursday in April, obviously no big deal. But that to me was, and he was the greatest. And by the way, they went and got him. That was the other thing. This was like totally mercenary. He played for the A's, as I think everybody knows. They went and got him. They went and got a great player, and that guy delivered. So that to me, I know it's probably not the best answer, but that's my answer.
I don't know that there is a better answer. Like, I kind of thought you were going to say the Bucky Dent game.
Well, we can talk about that because that was October 2nd, 1978.
There you go.
And I remember that day like it was yesterday. And I'll if we want to get into that, I'll talk about that too. But my most heartbreaking one, is that, was it the ALCS or the ALDS?
Are you talking about 2004? That was the LCS.
The LCS against, that still hurt. It hurts me to talk about it right now.
So that's worse than 2001 World Series for you.
Much worse than the 2001 World Series. And if I said 2001, I would have to kind of be knocking Rivera, which I don't want to do.
Well, there's some Rivera did play a role in 2004 as well.
Yes, but that kills me. It kills me.
Mm-hmm.
Kills me.
That was really bad. Let's see. From Acceptable Slice at, and this is what's tough about this person's handle is it's accepts lice. If he were starting a team from scratch, who would he draft first, Jeter or Judge?
And I'm going to answer that question. Can you just flip that fan on? I'm not trying to.
Yeah, no, it's warm
flex,
in here. It's warm in here.
As the kids say, but we do have a ceiling fan, and it's getting a little warm. So Judge is a better player It'll start.
Okay.
Judge is a better player than Jeter.
Mm-hmm.
He's a more impactful player than Jeter. And when I say impactful, I mean not only what he does, but also the way he affects the way the other team plays the game with people around him. He's a better player than Jeter, and he has Babe Ruth-like numbers, which are astounding. And you just can't say enough good things about Aaron Judge. I'd pick Jeter
Because
he is a winner. The guy's a winner. He's a great leader in a way that Judge is a great player. I don't know that he's a great leader. They say that Michael Jordan made the people around him better. I feel like Jeter did that. And by the way, how did Jeter know that he should be running to home plate to take that relay from Giambi? Like, they didn't talk to each other. It's not the normal thing you would do. And yet he was there. I don't know what even game that was.
it was the 2001 ALDS. I don't remember which game.
Jeez. I mean, the guy, Jeter, to me, he stands above all of the recent great Yankees, including Rivera, by the way. Even
Interesting.
He stands above all the recent great Yankees to me.
Okay. A few more questions from Sam at Jesper's Burner. Is Clay Holmes the greatest pitcher of all time? I'll hang up and listen.
He played well last night.
He did.
He pitched well last night. But if you want to, by the way, if you want to talk about the greatest Yankee pitcher of all time,
go ahead.
I still think it's Whitey Ford.
Yeah.
But, and we may get to this, the Ron Guidry of 1977 and 1978 was just unstoppable.
Yeah, I think
just
Ron Guidry,
unstoppable.
Certainly post-integration, had the greatest peak of any Yankees pitcher.
My God. Yes.
One more from Ball Champion. Would he rather be the size of a house or not?
Yeah. I don't know if you can see me. I am almost the size of a house right now. Yeah. No, I wouldn't, and I'll tell you why, because it would be very hard to go inside ever.
That's true.
You'd be getting wet and everything. So, no, thank you.
From Scope Perspective at M. Scappa, how would the Dynasty Yankees team lineups have been arranged if WRC Plus was a prominent stat 30 years ago? What would that have done to the minds of 90s Yankees fans?
So the second question, I'm going to have a hard time answering. I'll just be honest with you. The first question, and we did talk about this a little bit, I go back to, this is really a question about the 90s dynasties, but like you go back to like Murderer's Row. Well, imagine how Murderer's Row would be if your, two highest WRC plus hitters were hitting earlier in the lineup, being Ruth and Gehrig. Like, I don't even know who hit 1 and 2 on the 27 Yankees. I know who hit 3 and 4.
Couldn't tell you, yeah.
But I don't know who hit 1 and 2. And as Will pointed out, like, you got a guy like Kyle Schwarber who would be either a 3 or 4 hitter back in those days, hitting leadoff. There were times when Judge has hit leadoff.
Yeah.
And that's the right thing to do. What it would do to minds is a hard question, and I'm going to have to demur because I really can't say.
So it's interesting. They always hit Knobloch first and Jeter second in 1998.
Yeah.
In 1998, at least, they had like 6 or 7 guys, they had 5 guys with a WRC plus between or sorry, 6 guys with WRC plus between 122 and 129.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, they only had one that was higher than that, and it was 158 from Bernie Williams, who I think didn't play quite a full year that year. So you could almost do whatever you wanted with the top 6 of that lineup without it being very offensive to modern lineup construction.
Yes.
But if we look at 1999, for example, well, now Bernie Williams and Derek Jeter were the 2 best hitters on the team by far, and Chuck Knobloch was the only other guy with a WRC plus better than 110. So at that point, you're probably hitting Jeter first, Bernie second, and then figuring it out based on platoon splits and things like that. But yeah, that was the year that O'Neill wasn't good and Tino wasn't good, and but interestingly, that wasn't the year that they were bad. They were bad in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the last question that we got is from Rob.csb.
All right.
Who is a huge fan of Dad Take or Bad Take.
Thank you, Rob.
And he asked that I have you play the Stat Pad trivia game, which is a daily baseball trivia game. And we had a better idea, which was that we should build you your own personal 1977-78 Yankees Immaculate Grid game. So shout out to Anthropic, who's welcome to sponsor the podcast. Not that they need the publicity, though there would be much. I went into Claude Code and I had it build an Immaculate Grid style game that can be won exclusively with players from the 1977 and 1978 World Champion Yankees teams. And that's the game that you're going to play.
Okay. So I'm going to go to number 1, left-handed pitcher, and I'm going to say Ron Guidry.
Nicely done.
I'm going to go to number 2, hit more than 300 in a Yankee season. So
what's the other category?
All-star selection as a Yankee.
Okay.
So did Jackson hit more than 300? I don't know that he did, but no.
I guess not.
All right. See,
you can skip that one and go to the next. It'll only let you make 9 guesses.
Okay. All-star selection, 10 plus stolen bases in a Yankee season. I'm going to say Willie Randolph.
Nicely done.
All right. Let's go to this. 78 World Series champion, 10 plus stolen bases. All right. I'm going to try. Let's see if Paul Blair will.
I was thinking maybe Mickey Rivers.
Mick the Quick. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Very good. 770 World Series champion. 10 plus. Oh, again with the stolen bases. Oh, this is
maybe go to a different category.
All right, I'm going to a different category. I'm going to this. Hit 300 plus and was a 78. All right, so who was just a hugely consistent hitter on the 78 World Series champion team? I wonder if Piniella might have hit.
Nice.
All right, let's see. All right, this is 300 and a 77 champion. I'm just taking a. Did I already try Shambles?
I don't think you did.
I'm going to try it. Shit. All right. This isn't going great. Left-handed pitcher, 78 World Series champion. You know what? I'm going to look at 77 World. 78 was Torres. No, he wasn't.
Torres wouldn't have been there in 70.
No. All right. Let's see. 78 was Tion a left-hander? He wasn't there in 78. I thought Tion was there in 78. All right. I'm going to try Dick Tidrow. I don't even know if he was he All right. So who asked for this question?
Rob.csv.
Rob.csv. Rob, I'm proving to you that without a little bit of studying, I'm not very good at this. So maybe we can pivot to talk about two things. One, these teams.
Yep.
And two, the Bucky Dent game.
Okay, let's do that.
And maybe we should talk about the Bucky Dent game first. Yeah. Bucky Dent, by the way, I think was in 1978 the World Series MVP.
Was he?
I think he was.
Let's check on that.
Which is insane that Bucky Dent, for those of you who don't know, why would you? Light hitting, what are you seeing? Are you seeing it?
He was indeed the World Series MVP.
I don't remember how that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But Bucky Dent was a light hitting infielder who also like choked up on the bat that nobody does these days. So you can get a bat the right length these days.
Bucky Dent in 1978 hit 243, 286, 317. Do you want to guess his WRC plus?
80.
71.
Yeah.
And he got 415 plate appearances.
Yeah. And because nobody expected much from him.
Mm-hmm.
Choked up on the bat, which you would never see a player do today. October 2nd, 1978. I'm in 8th grade. The Red Sox and the Yankees have a 1-game playoff to see who will play in what is really the ALCS against the Kansas City Royals. At Fenway Park, played on a weekday afternoon, not even at night. It would have been unheard of for that to happen today. So it was a weekday afternoon, and the game started early enough that I remember going home from school, and the game was in progress. They didn't even start it like after school kids would have gotten home. And sort of the classic 70s Red Sox versus Yankees, Carl Yastrzemski, Fred Lynn, these are Red Sox, Fred Lynn, Jim Rice,
they might have Carlton
Fisk behind the plate, who hit that home run in the 75 World Series that he was trying to keep fair, and it stayed fair. They still lost.
They did.
And it's kind of funny. So from 75 to 77, the AL East was in the World Series every year.
Well, the 78.
70, I'm sorry, 75 to 78.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I meant. So those 4 years. So October 2nd, nice kind of fallish day. And the Yankees go down, I believe, 2-0. Bucky Dent, the most improbable player ever, comes up, choked up on the bat, and hits a home run. I mean, and it was almost like today, if you saw it, you'd say, oh, the ball is juiced. Hits a home run over the Green Monster, which the Green Monster is not that far, but it is high.
It is.
And this guy was probably, choked up on the bat. And you could tell the announcers didn't think for a second that the ball could go over the fence. And what a phenomenal game, phenomenal day. So they went from obviously potentially not even being in the playoffs to winning the World Series that year. So that was a pretty cool thing for a kid in 8th grade,
I'd say.
So that was the Bucky Dent game. And then we said, what?
Well, you just wanted to talk more about those teams.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously one thing that you've brought up a few times on this podcast as a lasting memory of those teams is that they went out and got Reggie Jackson. And I think at one point maybe you liken that to the Juan Soto acquisition. I think it's
I think
similar,
it was like A-Rod
similar
too.
in some ways. It's probably more like A-Rod.
Yes.
What do you remember about, though, like the lead up to those teams being as good as they were? Because obviously the early 70s Yankees had some good players, but
Yeah.
had some bad teams.
Well, the Yankees weren't good from 1961 until 1977.
Basically, yeah.
Which is sad because my grandfather, who was the biggest Yankee fan in the world, Will's great-grandfather, never saw them play. He died in 1976. He never saw them play in another World Series after 1961. Now, mind you, he saw them play in every World Series they played in from the beginning of time until 1977.
The Yankees did play in the World Series in 1963 and 64.
Oh, that's right.
They just didn't win them.
That's right. So okay. So from 64 to for the rest of his life after 64.
Mm-hmm.
But they also lost in 61.
They won in 61 and 62, lost in 63 and 64. They lost in 60 to the Pirates.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Mazeroski just died, by the way.
He did.
Yeah. Anyway, they weren't good in the late 60s. Even the Mets had won a World Series, and the Yankees were kind of languishing in obscurity. And they had put together a good team, but it was not really going to be a great team without a great player like Reggie Jackson. Loved, obviously, Thurman Munson. Love to know, if you have it, what Thurman Munson's WRC plus was.
I bet it was 116.
No, in like 77 and 78.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Because Thurman Munson was a
career 116.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It was 123 in 77 and 99 in 78.
A scrappy catcher who played, I got to tell you, at least almost every game.
Thurman Munson played 157 games in 1975. That was his.
Okay, but like high. When he played in 77, it's not like one of these deals.
In 77, he played 149 games.
It's almost every game, for God's sake. And he
played 136 of those at catcher.
Yeah. And he was a scrappy catcher. And like that, to me, is the kind of catcher that I'd like to have.
Mm-hmm.
Who a guy who isn't just thought of as maybe okay offensively. Anyway, but they had Thurman Munson. They had Chris Chambliss at first base. They had Willie Randolph. They had
who should be in the Hall of Fame.
Who should be in the Hall of Fame.
But not before Greg Nettles.
And they had the great Greg Nettles at third base, number 9, kind of a Scott Brocious-ish.
No, don't do that. Greg Nettles is so much better than Scott Brocious. It's not even funny.
But Nettles was my favorite of all those players on those teams. Nettles actually was my favorite player, and I don't know what his WRC plus was in those years, but he was a producer.
Probably quite high. Let me pull that up for you. So in 1977, Greg Nettles had a 125 WRC plus.
Yeah, very respectable.
Which was second on the team among qualified hitters. In 1978, it was 127. In 1976, it was 136.
Yeah.
Greg Nettles, phenomenal player. And a lot of people don't realize just how phenomenal. As of June 2024, and I have to say that because Manny Machado and Nolan Arenado could also be approaching these numbers. Among players who played 60% of their games at third base, at least 60%, there are only 4 who had 350 homers, 300 doubles, and 1,000 walks. Mike Schmidt.
Michael Jack Schmidt.
In
the Hall of Fame.
Chipper Jones.
Larry Chipper Jones in the Hall of Fame.
Eddie Matthews.
Eddie Matthews in the Hall of Fame.
And Greg Nettles.
Greg Nettles not in the Hall of Fame.
Should be in the Hall of Fame.
Wait, no, that's wrong.
Come on. There are only 5 primary infielders, this is as of April 2024, who have at least 350 home runs and 65 Baseball Reference WAR. Alex Rodriguez, Albert Pujols, Rafael Palmeiro, Greg Nettles, and Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how this guy, I mean, it's almost like, and there was no reason to be against him. Like there are reasons to be against Reggie Jackson. There are reasons to be against some of the people on these teams. There was no reason to be against Greg Nettles. And how this guy could have been so overlooked and passed by, especially now in an era when we look so carefully at stats and comparisons to players who are in and players who aren't. And the guy does have 2 World Series.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Also, sorry, that last stat, that was primary infielders not in the Hall of Fame who have reached those numbers. So it's
right.
2 guys who are going to be in the Hall of Fame, Pujols and Cabrera, 2 guys who are being kept out for steroids,
right.
One of whom should be an Inner Circle Hall of Famer in A-Rod and Palmeiro, and then Greg Nettles. It doesn't make any sense. He is so obviously a Hall of Fame caliber player.
Yeah. So, and we found out he's 81 years old.
81 years old.
Yeah. So it'd be great to get him into the Hall. So if any of the listeners or watchers of the Yankees Files podcast have any pull up in Cooperstown way, put in a plug for the great Greg Nettles.
Please do. So, Dad, we're getting over an hour.
Yeah, I think so. I have to cook dinner.
Yeah. So it's probably time we wrap up. You know that means it's time for you to rate your confidence out of 10 in these New York Yankees.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say 7.
Okay.
Which is probably optimistic, but I haven't seen him play a Major League Baseball game in the regular season yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if anybody cares about this, but I'll go to 8 if they get rid of Jake Bird. Like I'll go to 8 right now, just knowing Jake Bird is not on the roster.
The meanest people in the world are like 12-year-old girls to each other and you to Jake Bird.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna go 7. Are you allowed to say where you're going?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll say 8.
All right. What about if they didn't have Jake Bird?
7.5.
Oh, that's funny.
No, I think they're the best team in the American League. There's no American League team that I'd rather be except maybe the Mariners, but not because I think their team is better, because I think their division is easier.
Yeah. The only thing I would say, and we are not going to belabor this, is I would love to come on to this Yankees Files podcast as a guest or a co-host, as
you are today.
Very charitable of you. And hear you say, I think they are the best team in Major League Baseball. That's what I would like them to be.
I probably said that last year.
Well, I mean, sometime in the future, okay. I would like that, because I would like the best team doesn't always win the World Series, but the best team has the best chance to win the World Series.
That's right.
And that's what I would like the Yankees to have.
Okay. Do you have any parting shots beyond that?
No, I'm not going to do my normal bit.
Sponsorship?
No, I'm not doing the sponsorship. I'm not doing any Lou Gehrig material.
Nice. Good.
May he rest in peace. But I do want to say, first of all, I want to say to all the people who wrote in with questions for me, thank you from the bottom of my heart. So nice of you to do that, and really appreciate it. I want to say that. To Steve, I want to say you'll never hear this. So I could say anything about you or whomever. and it wouldn't move the needle. Would I like you to hear this? Sure. So I'll say that to Steve. And to the fans of the Yankees Files podcast, I would like to say thank you for listening. And we'll be back at the same time or around the same time in the same place and with more content. And until then, no, I'm not going to do that because you have to do the podcast.
Yeah, so
get your podcast wherever you get your podcast.
So first of all, thank you for joining us on the Yankees Files podcast. It is always a pleasure. And we know the people love it, especially the Robs and Rudy. So I really appreciate that. It's always good to talk ball. The metaverse will judge whether you know ball or not.
Yeah, the metaverse will judge me.
But people know they can keep up with everything we do at yankeesfiles.com. They can follow us on Twitter, where we are at Yankees Files. The podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts. We hope that you'll rate, review, subscribe, etc. Interact in a positive way. If you like it, if you don't like it, we hope you'll just download it, juice the numbers. We appreciate it. The video podcast goes up on Spotify and on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@crosstownsports. Hey, everybody, can you go into Joey's mentions and just tell him he needs to bring back the Battle of New York? And then on Easter, when he reopens Twitter for the first time since Ash Wednesday, he'll see all of those tweets saying that people want the Battle of New York. Thank you.
He gave up Twitter for Lent?
He did?
That's weird.
Anyway, we'll be back sometime, someplace with some group of hosts and co-hosts to preview the season in earnest. I think we might get the return of Whipple on that episode. Until then,
let's go Yankees.
And I say, hey.